Hi, this is a demonstration of the Formitize app. There's two sides to the Formitize solution. One is the app and the other is the management portal. This video is going to concentrate on the app only, so please make sure you watch the other video on the management portal. Okay, this is the login page. The company username and password credentials will be provided to you, and that gives and determines the forms and resources you'll have access to once you log in. You'll see there's a note there on the offline mode, so you can select that if you want to, but the app works perfectly with or without internet connection. I'm going to hit login, and this takes me to the status menu page of the app. You can see very quickly that there's four sections: forms, jobs, resources, and the internal form data. Now the forms section is a list of blank forms that you can start from scratch. The forms will be available to you based on your login credentials. Jobs can be dispatched to you from the management portal, and then the resources section is like an e-library of documents. Again, from the management portal you can upload documents and they'll be synced instantly to all users' mobile devices. Keeps everybody up to date on what's going on. Okay, we'll start with the forms section, jump in and have a look. Here's a list of forms based on my username. I'll select the Formitize demonstration. Now this form will show you just some examples of the features. You can see that it's grabbed the date and the location automatically. I hit begin and that will take us into the form. Now it's really important to remember that the form is completely customizable. This is just a demonstration, so we've just got these in order just to show you some of the features, but when you build your own form or when we build it for you, it'll be customized to collect the information that you need for your business. Okay, I'm going to start with number one. That can just be some introductory notes. I'll then push question 2 for time, date and location. Now you can see that the time has been populated automatically. We can have it auto-populate or you can manually enter. The same with date. Now I'll touch date, add time, add date, and again that can be moved. The next area is address. Rather than typing in the address, I just push the fetch button and it populates the address automatically together with latitude and longitude. The next section is barcode and QR code reader. So it turns the device into a barcode and QR code reader. You scan the barcode, it grabs the number, it then automatically can do a lookup into your database table and pull that information into the form. Things like pricing, even images of products, etc. Number 4 is the audio recorder and voice to text. So the audio recorder can be used to record verbal confirmations, notes, memos, detailed descriptions, etc. We also have voice to text for free text boxes. Number 5 is the integrated camera. So photos can be instantly formatted and embedded into your reports in the correct positions. We can take photos from the library or from the camera, and we have an advanced tagging system so that fields in the form like date, location, time, customer number, etc. can all be hard tagged against the photo, and that means that you can search those photos against those questions later. Basic and advanced drawing tool. Now there is a separate video on the drawing tool, but I'll go through it very quickly in this demonstration just to show you the sorts of things that it can do. It's one of the best drawing tools in the world and extremely capable. Okay, now in this example you can see there's an import button. If I select that, you can import photos from the camera, you can import them from the device gallery, or you can import from the resources folder. Now that's really important. That means that a technician in the field can have the resource uploaded from the management portal in the office. He instantly has access to it in the field and he can then get to work on it. So it's a fantastic additional feature. Alright, so in this example we've got a floor plan, and then on the left hand side is some legend items. So I'll go into Toolbox, and let's say that I'm a bricklayer. I'll select the straight lines, I'll select orange in this case, and now I'll draw a line to show where the work was actually done. Okay, if I'm a landscape gardener, I'll go to the circle, I'll select green, I'll make it dotted, and now I'll draw some circles where the trees were actually planted. Okay, let's say I'm an electrician, and this is a really nice feature. I'm going to go to the end box now, which is called the legend. In that legend we've got some icons, and one of those is the PowerPoint. This ties in with the legend underneath. So I'm going to select the PowerPoint icon, and now if you look in bedroom 2, I'm going to add those PowerPoints to the room in the right locations. Now if I go back to the toolbox, you can see in the PowerPoint legend item there is a 3 at the top. So it's actually counting the number of PowerPoints that I'm adding to the plan. Now that's a fantastic feature, and what it actually does is in the form element now it's going to add those numbers together, and if you're doing a quotation or an order it can instantly calculate that based on the number of PowerPoints that have been added to the room. If I want to add light sockets, it's exactly the same. I just move to the icon and add. So there's lots of features in the toolbox. There's 5 different layers. You can add text, you can take photos and draw on them. It's a really powerful tool and worth exploring in the separate video. Okay, let's leave that and we'll head back to the form. Okay, so that's the drawing tool. If I move on to the client detail collection, now we use drop downs and radio buttons as much as possible just to make it fast. But before I answer this, you can see that there's a red question there that says please select a choice. Now the reason there's a red note there is that we have made this field mandatory. One of the worst problems with paper forms is that when the form eventually gets back to the office, it's then discovered that something's missing that needed to be included. So we get around that by making certain questions, and it's up to you which questions are made mandatory, but it means that the field user can't submit the form until all mandatory questions have been answered. Okay, radio buttons for examples where only one answer is possible and the rest are free text. Interactive questions. Now in this example we're using the answers from one question to create the next question. So I'm going to select 4 or 5 options from here, and the next question says please now select your top priority, and it's using the previous question's answers to select in that list. Now this means that the forms are intuitive and they can change based on previous answers. Real-time calculations. You can get rid of your calculation mistakes forever. The inbuilt calculator does all of the calculations for you in real time. So not only are we getting rid of the calculation errors, we can then integrate the financial data that's being collected straight into your accounting systems, such as Xero. So here's an example. Please enter the square meters quoted, 5. Please enter the price quoted per unit, 10. So it gives a sub total order value of 50. It then also calculates the tax and then gives the gross total. You can decide if you want the totals to be shown in the form or just to show up in the finished report, such as an invoice or quotation. Order processing with integrated data. Now with database integration, you simply select the product and all of the details auto-populate. You can use the solution for very effective order processing. So if I select product A, you'll see that all of the fields underneath auto-populate. Widget A, product number, all the ones, and the unit price. So the field user just needs to enter the quantity and the order is completed. I can add another product. I just go to product B, and again you can see those fields populate, and I'll just enter the quantity. Okay, the next section shows the actual order totals. Not only does it show the order value, it shows the number of lines that have been ordered, and it shows the average order value per line. So a whole lot of interesting statistics can be gathered and instantly populated into the form. Okay, now not only can we collect the order, we can actually also collect payment. So I'll select number 12, card payments. This enables credit card payments to be collected on site with a very simple solution. Enter the price, calculates tax automatically, hit pay, and up comes the payment details. So I can enter the email, the card number, and take payment there, and then hit process and the money's collected. Intuitive processes. Now paper forms are often overly detailed because they have to allow for every possible scenario. We can build intuitive processes into the forms so that only the required information is being asked for. In this case it's a yes or no. If I answer yes, from now on all the questions in the form will be based on a yes response. So much cleaner and simpler, and no longer needing to worry about irrelevant sections of the form. 14 is the slider function. Now with the slider, it's very powerful for things like surveys, quality scoring, gaining feedback or opinion from customers, generating real-time statistics on important points. Now in this case, please score us between 0, non interested, and 10, very interested. So it's just a very clear slider function to gain a lot of customer information and feedback very quickly. Repeatable questions. Now in this particular example, you might be doing a site audit. So you've completed the audit on the building, and now you're doing a machine by machine check. So I'll enter the machine number 1. It grabs the date and time of the check automatically, and then it's a question of pass or fail. If I hit pass, nothing happens. If I select fail, up comes the camera option to take a photo of the failure point, inspection fail comments to add, and then I can go to the next machine. Now that I'm in the next machine, I click section 2, time and date auto calculates, and that's a pass. So it's a very quick way of repeating just that particular part of the form while the rest of the questions remain fixed. Risk assessments. The health and safety side of the app is very, very powerful and is used right across the world. In this particular example, it says, have any safety risks been observed? If I answer no, nothing happens. If I say yes, it asks for the level of risk identified. That provides a drop down of fixed answers. Now each answer will trigger a different action point. If I select major safety hazard, on submission of this form, the health and safety manager will receive a separate report identifying the risk, the time, the date, the location, the photo if included, in addition to all of the standard reporting that will auto-generate on the submission of the report. In addition to that, it gives the user 4 things that he must do immediately and show that he has as part of the health and safety process. Okay, add other. Now, it's often the case that when you get to a drop-down option, the answer that you have, let's say we're talking to the finance director, it's not available in the drop-down list. So you simply add it into the add other option, and it'll be added to the list. Now it can be added to the list for this form only, or for every form going forward. So if you're in an area like building inspection and you have a range of standard comments that you want to use, you can build a library of those comments as time goes by. The form can actually evolve with more advanced answers available to you each time, and so you're really adding value to your form as you're using it. Repeat and repeat. Now this is the repeating function is powerful. This takes it to a whole new level. You're getting a repeating solution within a repeating question. So in this case, we're going through a range of different departments, and we're looking to get all of those departments to sign off. So I'll just go through it very quickly, but the first one is sales department. So I select that. I then open up the department acceptance checklist. I get the first person's name and their position, and I ask them to sign it. I then click next in the top right hand corner, and the form moves horizontally to the second person in that department. Once I've finished the sales department, I select the go to next department at the bottom, and now I'll select the technical team and do exactly the same thing. So a very powerful repeating function within a repeating function. Okay. Number 19, external website linking. Now Formitize can enable links to external websites without leaving the app. This is really useful for items such as pricing pages or reference site, weather information sites, terms and conditions, and so much more. Really powerful solution if you want to take the viewer into a training or demonstration video as well. So let's say that you're a pest controller. You need to understand the weather conditions and report on those at the time of applying a pesticide. I just hit weather, I open the link, and it takes me straight to a weather page to give me the information that I need to report on wind directions, etc. Okay, so I'm grabbing that information, I'm going to those sites without leaving the app. Next section is signature collection. So obviously it's very important to get on-screen signatures in many cases. I touch the time, I enter the customer's name, and the customer signs it straight onto the screen for me there and then. That signature can then be embedded in the document and signatures added. And the final feature we just want to go through quickly is the auto email function. So we can build in a range of events so that it can send different information from this form embedded into different documents and send it to different people. Additionally, if you want to send the information as a one-off email, you can enter the email address into this section and it'll forward the report automatically to that person also. Okay, so that's 20 or so really good features just to show you the sorts of things that you can do with Formitize forms. Let's go back to the main option. In the main menu bar here, so we've looked at one of the forms. I'll just quickly go into the jobs section. Now the jobs are dispatched from the management portal, and I'd encourage you to have a look at the separate video on our jobs section and the integrated scheduler. But here you can see that 2 jobs have been sent. The colors vary depending on the priority. Very quickly the user can see the status, a description of the job, what sort of job it is, and the due date and time. I can click on that. It will then bring up the details. It'll also bring a map that will take me give me route guidance from where I am now to the location. Okay, so please see the separate video on our job section. And finally there's the resources. Now the resources is a really powerful e-library, and it means that management can upload documents into the management portal and make them available to field users. So here we've got some examples of management reports, sales literature, fact sheets, material data sheets, safety documents. If document control is important to your business, or you need to ensure that people in the field have access only to the latest versions of your information, then this is a fantastic tool. You can create your own folders, you can upload documents, and they sync to the mobile devices. So I'll just select sales brochure, for example. There it is. So every field user has access to all of the latest information, and management have the confidence to know that only the most recent documents are available. Really powerful tool, automatically included in the resources section. Okay, so that's a very quick summary of the Formitize app and some of its features. As I've mentioned earlier, please remember the forms are completely customizable, so you can build your own forms to suit your business, or we can build them for you. Thank you very much for your time. Please take another look at the management portal video. Also have a look at the job scheduling and dispatching video, and then there's a separate video also on the drawing tools. Thanks again.